allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is unanticipated. Any of my board members have anything under unanticipated?
I have a couple.
Oh, okay.
On Tuesday evening, I went over to Taunton High for the draft environmental impact study hearing with the BIA. And long story short, the study for the proposed project in Taunton that they came up with, I find, and I'm being kind when I say this, fraudulent. Just a quick perusal, I found at least 4 misstatements or half-truths, or one was an outright lie, regarding mitigation for surrounding communities, and especially in the town of Middleborough. We have to have our comments in by January 17th. I know that Ruth is planning on going over the study and submitting a letter for our concerns. If any of the board or any of the public has any concerns, I would strongly suggest that you submit your comments to the BIA before January 17th. They have to be at the BIA by January 17th. This is really the only option anybody has to dispute the findings in the study. I was going through the compact today, and in the great wisdom of the state, the compact suggests going through the Mass Gaming Commission for community mitigation only after the compact is passed and land into trust is settled. So we would have had to already have accepted the report and then go back and try to figure out the issues that we have, and then get mitigation after we've already submitted or acquiesced to a study that says there are no issues. So it's convoluted at best. So what it boils down to is we have to do this on our own first. I suggest maybe submitting a bill to the MGC for our time and effort afterwards, if this ever goes forward, because that'll be the only way we actually get any compensation for our time for this still illegal proposed project. But if you have an issue, or if you think you might have an issue with the project going on, I would suggest you look over the report and submit your comments in writing to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Franklin Kiel. I think it's the Eastern Regional Office, but all that's on the website. Well, actually, maybe we could get it up on our website, Charlie.
Yeah, we can make it.
All right, beautiful. And that will be pretty much the only opportunity we have to address the impacts for that proposed project. On a somewhat related subject, on Thursday, I was at the MGC hearing for the Raynham Parks proposed project, and that went about as expected in the town of Raynham. Everybody seems very positive towards that project. There was just one thing that kept popping up that I noticed, and some people I was sitting with noticed. They kept referring to that project as a casino, and I find that just a bit troubling. So I think that's something that we should, I know you have a letter here later on, Charlie, but I think that's something we need to keep our eyes on, because obviously things aren't going as planned statewide with the Expanded Gaming Act. And there's a lot of uncertainty out there, and I don't want to get caught behind the 8 ball on this one. So that's it for me.
Mr. Foley, the Taunton
Debacle.
Where can people find that particular document to look at? Is there a publication somewhere?
On the City of Taunton, there's a link to the report, to the study, and there's one on the Mashpee Wampanoag Tribes webpage as well. I don't have that information on me right now, but if you contact the town manager's office, we can.
Yeah, and we'll have it on ours.
Can we get a link on our?
Yeah, we're going to put one on ours too.
Good.
It's a fairly lengthy study. But if you want to find the first mistake, you only have to go to the first page. So.
Not that you scrutinized it or anything.
The first page, second paragraph, 4th line. That's it.
John, anything?
Under unanticipated?
Unanticipated.
No.
Mr. Chairman, I'll jump in with both feet. The N-Star cuttings, I have been on the phone with Senator Pacheco's office, Representative Coulter, Representative Oral's office, Mrs. Knowlton there, and Representative Gifford's office. Finally got through to N-Star returning my calls. I know you're all sitting down, so. But they were very, very cooperative. I spoke with Bill Hayes, and if there are any residents that wish to meet with them for mitigation, I would be happy to set that up with you. You can call our office here, or Mrs. Knowlton in Representative Oral's office is dealing very closely with them, and we'll set it up, whether it be wood that you want back, or replantings, or transplanting trees that you've put in, namely, I know there are dogwoods, apple trees many residents have put down. They will sit down and talk with you about mitigating that and taking care of it. They want to keep everyone happy as well. So that's it. It may be late, but I think they're making the effort, and I would be glad to arrange that for you and set a meeting up for you if you'd like.
Anybody else under unanticipated? Sire.
Good evening. My name is Glenn Montepert, Marion Road. I'd like to let everybody know that there's a community blood drive sponsored by Kiwanis, Lions, and Mayflower Masonic Lodge on Saturday, December 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Right downtown to the Mayflower Lodge, 46 South Main Street, Middleborough. The gift of life is the greatest gift anyone can give at this holiday season. And I recommend anybody coming out to give some blood. It's quick, it's easy. I won't say it's painless, but almost, just about.
It's nearly painless.
It's just a pinprick. And also, on the 21st, a Christmas Carol dramatic reading performed by Paul Hayden and 91-year-old Bill McCarthy on December 21st from Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., where? The Masonic Lodge, 46 South Main Street. $10 donations, free snacks, coffees, and cocoa. It's a great day. Come on down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evening. I just wanted to speak to the board and...
Would you introduce yourself, sir?
Yes, my name is Bob Carter. And I just want to speak to the board, and by extension really speak to all the people of Middleborough about Shoe Shop Place. Shoe Shop Place is that large three-story wood frame building which is on the corner of Pierce Street and Rice Street. It's formerly it was owned by Bay State Specialty. Before that it was owned by Winthrop and Atkins, and before that it was a shoe shop. You know, Middleborough was one time known as the shoe capital of the world, and we had numerous shoe shops in town. We had Plymouth Shoe, we had Albert Shoe, Volvo Shoe, George E. Keith. Those are all gone. They've been lost to fires, the wrecking ball, and that building is the last shoe shop that we have in town. And many wonder just what's happening to it. They've heard rumors about some sort of housing going in there. Well, that's the case, but nothing's happening right now because of really some outrageous treatment that the town has been receiving from the state at the hands of the Department of Housing and Community Development, the DHCD. You see, what's happened is that building was purchased by the Neighborhood Corporation, which is a nonprofit in Taunton, with the intention of creating affordable housing there. And there's many different organizations that have been behind that project. The National Park Service, the Massachusetts Historical Commission, and numerous others have pledged very large amounts of money to help with the renovation of that project. But the DHCD is the problem, and that's where the holdup is. Just to give you kind of a quick overview, and for any who might not be familiar with what happens there, the federal government and the state government has said that we want to create affordable housing. And so they've given DHCD a certain amount of money, and they said disperse it, hopefully equitably, around the state of Massachusetts. They do that by means of a system where once or twice a year, applicants will apply for the money, DHCD will review the application, and then they'll award it. Well, here's the problem, folks. 5 times the Neighborhood Corporation, which is a very worthy, very hardworking corporation which works on affordable housing, 5 times they've applied for money from DHCD, and 5 times they have been rejected. No one in the history of Massachusetts has applied more than 5 times and not had their application accepted. Meanwhile, DHCD has funded other applicants, large, powerful, wealthy, perhaps politically well-connected companies, numerous times. In some cases for much more money than what the Neighborhood Corporation is applying for. And what's the reason why DHCD doesn't approve the funding for the Neighborhood Corporation? Well, let me give you an example, because it's really kind of interesting. February of this year, round number 4, they told the Neighborhood Corporation that they weren't going to fund their project because the contractor, which the Neighborhood Corporation had chosen, was unqualified or didn't have any experience in historical renovation. Well, folks, that is ridiculous, because that, to begin with, 3 times Neighborhood Corporation had applied. This issue was never brought up. Anyway, secondly, the business, the construction company that Neighborhood Corporation had chosen was fully qualified. Think about this for just a second. That building was built in 1890 with local people who had the skills. Now, today's contractor, he's more knowledgeable, he has better equipment, he has access to better materials than they did in 1890. And local people built it back in 1890. So why should not a local person get the job of renovating it? But anyway, what the Neighborhood Corporation did is they, in order to appease DHCD, they went to a very large, very well-respected construction company to build out the project. A company that had done thousands of units with DHCD. So we were certain that in August of this year, which was the 5th round, that the Neighborhood Corporation would get funded for their project. Guess what? They weren't. It really is outrageous, the treatment that this project has got, and by extension, that the town has got. So really what I'm here for, to cut to the chase, is because I'm just one voice. I'm one hand clapping. What we really need to do is to inform as many people as possible, and that's the reason I'm here, just for you folks to serve as a sounding board, to hear what I'm saying about this, to let people know that really DHCD needs to hear from as many people as possible about how we're disappointed with the way that our community has been treated with DHCD. So specifically, what I'm hoping is that we can get as many people as possible to call the secretary of DHCD, Gregory Bielecki. He's the one who has oversight. He is the actual secretary. It's an undersecretary named Aaron Gornstein, who's the one, his department actually allocates, makes the decision and allocates the money. But it's this gentleman right here who is the secretary of the Department of Housing and Community Development. And if as many people as possible in town make a phone call to Mr. Bielecki or drop him an email and let him know how anxious we are to see that project funded. Do it because of the history of the building. Do it because you love the history of the town. Do it for the neighborhood, because when that building is fixed up, it's going to be the showpiece of that neighborhood. It's going to increase the tax base of this town. Do it because you're just tired of the way the town has been treated by the Department of Housing and Community Development. But if as many people as possible can call this gentleman and let them know how disappointed we are, perhaps when the next round comes, round number 6, which is going to be in February or March of this year, perhaps then Middleborough will get its funding and the for this project.
Do you have a website for your,
No, we do not have,
you don't have a website?
we do not, no.
You don't have any way to get information out there, Facebook or anything like that?
Well, at present, no, but that's something that we're working on.
Okay, all right, very good,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else unanticipated?
Yes. Hi there.
Hi there.
Are you tired of seeing me?
Never.
Darlene Parsons, Rocky Meadow Street. Regarding the N-Star,
Yes.
I appreciate all your help, and I also appreciate putting to the Boston Globe yesterday, the selectmen were in favor of 2 bills that were going to be passed about the residents needing to be notified, and also some compensation or whatever for tree planting or whatever. Like I said, unfortunately, it's a little late for a lot of us. Right now, our game plan is we have hired a surveyor, costing out of our own out of our own pockets, just under a couple of $1,000. But we are trying to get some of the people along Rocky Meadow Street to come in with us, because he's going from Wall Street to Tispequin, and he's actually going to, survey it properly instead of using a laser rangefinder, which I think you can buy at Dick's for $100. But anyway, so he's going to do it the proper way and, prove them wrong or not. So now with this information, when we get it, who do we give it to? I don't particularly want to go to N-Star and tell them, that some of the easements are wrong or whatever. But is that when we call Mr. Hayes and tell him that the easements have been encroached upon or whatever?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah,
If he
definitely.
returns our calls, right?
If you cannot get a hold of him, I have a cell phone. He's answering my calls. We've talked. We've been working towards a solution where you're happy as well.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, that's
Yeah.
who I care about. Your residents where in my town. So
Yeah, I just wish, like I said, we had been warned about this. I mean, I followed a convoy today of 6 or 7 huge trucks going down. They actually made a really weird swoop. They went on, by Cottonwood. They're doing, I have no idea what they're doing, but it's horrific. And just to let you know, the Citizens Against N-Star is on Facebook, and it is now open. So a lot of people have posted pictures and some pretty interesting information about, how it's impacted on them.
one thing I would mention, if it is a citizen that's in litigation with N-Star, we can't interfere.
Right.
But if it hasn't gotten to that point,
Yeah.
I'll do everything I can to get everyone together.
Okay.
Are we going to still schedule some kind of a meeting, educational meeting for people like that, or put an announcement out maybe that they could contact?
We've been asking for a meeting for months.
Well, I know I attended one of your meetings, and
Right.
the most difficult thing is to go in there and say, my hands are tied. And I can say that every week, and I do say that every week.
Right.
And I don't like saying that every week. So unfortunately, we're doing some firefighting here, where, Mrs. O'Leary's cow has managed to kick the lantern over, and now the town's burning down. So we're trying to do everything we can to be a little bit more proactive, not about this, but about the next time,
Right.
when they try it again. So we're trying to make contacts, Lonnie's done a lot of work on this, Charlie's done a lot of work on this, we've got the state reps involved, they're doing a lot of work on this, Janine's doing, Janine in Keiko's office is doing a lot of work with this. So, keeping the information flow going from all of you people out there, like I keep mentioning,
Right.
it's good to tell me that you have an issue. It's better to get a complaint form into the Department of Public Utilities with some pictures and get that information into them also and get it to Janine, Keiko Representative Oral's office, because that's what can help to build the case too.
Right.
So,
And the media, too. I've been,
the media's,
yeah, Hank Philippi Ryan as Mary.
Right.
But she wants some before and after pictures, and,
right,
it's hard.
that's hard to do.
Well, right, in my case,
Right.
I didn't know they were going to do anything, so there weren't any before pictures. The thing is, though, I think a lot of the residents, or a few of the residents knew about this in end of August and did ask for a meeting, and it never came about. This is true. I mean, that's, seriously, you know, it would have helped if we had known what was going on.
Right.
You know? And,
I'm sorry, and
the
I,
town-
you know, if
right.
I'd have known that we were gonna turn that area into the DMZ, we probably would have, you know,
Yeah.
tried to do something to, whoever thought we're gonna clear some trees turned out to be,
Thousands.
what that area looks like now.
Yeah.
It looks like you could land a 747 in
You
there.
can.
And I don't know if you need that for a 12-foot wide road to get around to see that the towers are still up in the air.
Yeah.
It's
Well, the
just-
thing is, too, they're putting in, supposedly, they didn't file a plan with the town because they weren't putting in any new towers, new poles or whatever.
Right.
Which is not the case. On Wall Street, there's a brand-new set of poles, towers, that weren't there. They're very close to the road.
But are they just replacing ones
There
that
wasn't,
were there?
they never took any down. These are brand-new, like I said, I followed this convoy, which went down Rocky Meadow Street, up Wall Street, down, and actually went off of Tispiquin, down by the wetlands, and went up towards Cottonwood, and I don't know what they're doing there, but they've built another road for their trucks to go there, so I don't know. So anyway, like I said, supposedly they were supposed to file a plan if they were going to put in new poles, and I have talked to the, conservation people, and they said they weren't told of any new poles, which I don't think is the case, but that's all I have to say.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else under unanticipated? Anybody have any announcements? Mr. Olden?
Mr. Chair, just wanted to announce Rock Village Church's annual live Christmas pageant will take place on the lawn of Town Hall on Saturday, December 14th at 7 p.m. They'll be doing a Christmas play, King of Glory. The pageant lasts for about 30 minutes and refreshments will be served. Bales of hay will be provided for audience members, especially children, to sit, and refreshments available. There's no charge and the community is welcome to attend. If the weather should prevent presentation on December 14, the pageant will be postponed until Sunday, December 15.
I just have a quick thank you to Tara in the IT department and everyone in the assessor's office on a horrible day before Thanksgiving when no one was around to help this office idiot get programs for the after parade music. They were there helping me lay out things and copy things, and they went above and beyond, and I'd like to thank them all. That's all.
Mr. Quell, anything?
Just want to thank everybody involved in the parade. It was a great success. It's a great way for Middleborough to show off a little bit. Not everybody has one, but we certainly do, and it was a lot of fun, especially for the children. Want to recognize the Middleborough High School Selectmen for another astounding defeat of Carver in the Thanksgiving Day game. And also another congratulations to the Middleborough High School baseball team that received their state championship rings in front of a hometown crowd. Thank you.
Mr. Fowler? Good. Okay. Next item on the agenda, we're going to be the minutes, but we'll postpone those until December 16th. Now, we'd like to entertain a motion to authorize the chair or his designee to sign the warrants for the week ending 12/6/2013.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Now, under new business, vote to approve a request from Karen Cook, and all are welcome, to hold an annual Run for Your Lunch road race on Sunday, January 19th, 2014.
Kevin Cook, in representative for Karen. She apologizes for not being able to be here. She's in New Jersey taking care of her mom.
Okay.
So I'm a duly representative volunteer for the organization.
Okay.
She's got the third annual Run for Your Lunch road race, 5K, set up out of the North Congregational Church with the same route as it has been for the last 2 years. We're in the process of getting all the final permissions. She's got permission to use the green, and normally the Chamberlain School allows parking and other people that she's got to just check with. She's already, I guess, chatted with Jackie and also sent you guys the basic package that she'd sent for the last 2 years. The race has been very successful in helping All Are Welcome raise funds for our community kitchen, which has been ongoing. Speaking of recognition, we were able to hold a community Thanksgiving Day meeting, dinner, and actually had about 50 people show up for Thanksgiving dinner who else otherwise might not have gone, without a meal. And it was a kind of a nice setting for a lot of people. We had a number of elderly, a number of small children that showed up that needed a meal on Thanksgiving Day. So it really did my heart good to be there and see all the people show up and enjoy the day and spend it together with other people instead of being alone. And that's what All Are Welcome's trying to continue to accomplish with our regular meals on Thursdays and Saturdays out of the Church of Our Savior. This race does a large part to help that mission continue. Karen recently got her 501(c) designation out of the IRS, no small feat, so that she's able to do now to go to companies, local companies in the area and get larger grants, work with the larger food banks out of Boston and other organizations to continue the mission. But the race and the Run for Your Lunch is going to be the usual. It's a 5K race. Goes out and around a nice loop, comes back to the church, and then there's a chowder lunch for everybody who participates. In fact, I think Karen said she's interested in seeing if we can create a selectmen's category to see how many of the selectmen can come out and do the 5K.
It's on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could post the results for the town to see.
Oh, no results. I'll
And
do it, but no results.
It's also a run walk, so there's no pressure. We wouldn't want you to feel bad if it took a little longer. I think Mr. Quell, Mr. Knowlton, and Mr. Frawley should maybe wager
I did it last year.
who can donate. Maybe the winner donates or the losers donate. Towards helping All Are Welcome. But we're interested to have as many people as possible show up. It's been a great a great chance for people to get together. We've got a number of running organizations that are going to assist, and we've been putting the word out. Something about these runners, they like to get out there in January for whatever reason. I used to run only because the guy in the Navy had more of these on his shoulder than I did, and he made me. But other than that, I'm more than happy just to help out in any way I can, so we wanted to let you know. And of course, if there's any kind of weather issue, Chief Gates is obviously the final determiner on that morning of. We've been pretty lucky, knock wood, that the last two have gone off without a hitch. The weather's been very cooperative. We're hoping this year it goes the same way because, a nice 40-degree day will not hurt anybody. I remember the first one, and I was there. I'd just gotten out of the hospital after getting my gallbladder out, so I wasn't doing much, but it was cold. It was like in the 20s that day. But made the chowder taste really good when everyone got inside and got nice and warm.
So this is a run and a walk? Or
Yeah, it's a run walk.
or walk?
Yeah, it says
Right.
run for your lunch because that walk for your lunch sounds kind of odd.
Yeah.
But it's run for your lunch. It's a 5K. It starts at the North Congregational Church. It goes out in a nice little loop. It crosses over into Bridgewater for all of about 100 or 200 yards or something like that. But we always contact Bridgewater and they just go, don't worry about it. Chief Gates has always sent up a cruiser just to make sure there's one police officer there, just to make sure there's no traffic issues or anything like that. And overall, it's been a great success in raising, several $1,000s for the organization each year.
All right. I see that the fire chief has no issues, and there's been no response back yet from the chief of police. He probably you've been tied up with some...
Not that I recall.
Okay. So can we make this pending, if you approve, pending...
Contingent upon the police chief's approval.
That would be the big word, yes.
Yeah, now, if for some reason we don't hear back, should we give him a little nudge after a couple weeks, or?
At your own peril, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I kind of
Remember,
figured as much.
He has weapons, you don't.
Yeah,
Good,
well,
go for it.
Yeah. I would hope it wouldn't get to that.
Nah.
Mr.
Pleasure of the
Chair,
board? Yes?
I ran this race last year. Run is a figure, or a loose term. I ran the race. I was in the
Poetic
race
license.
last year. And I did finish. I'm happy to state that. And the chowder was excellent at the end of it. I'm sure the chowder is always excellent, no matter if you run or if you walk. But they really put on a great show. It's a great event. It's just a great community event. There's a ton of people there, and it really is. I don't know if it's competitive in the front end. I wasn't part of that end of it, but in the middle of the pack where I was, it was just a friendly, great community event, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again this year. And my goal is to actually train for it and run before the day of the race for this one.
Well, you've been running around to so many different boards and meetings. I'm sure
Yeah,
you're in the
well,
best shape you've been in a
I'm
while.
actually gonna put some running shoes on and do a little training.
Drives to
hopefully.
those, though.
Yeah,
Again, nobody's got enough of these on their shoulder to make me run anymore, so after I retired out, so I'm done. I did my part.
Okay, pleasure of the board.
motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second contingent on police chief's sign off. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Guys have it.
All right, thank you very
Run in
much.
peace.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to seeing you all there, including the new members of the board. Even if you just show up to
I'm
help
a
out.
walker, so if I could just get that up a notch, I'll be there, don't worry.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
I'll be there in spirit. Next item on the agenda is a vote to sign an agreement between Lakeville and Middleborough for the Lakeville, use of the Lakeville Animal Shelter. Do we have anybody from Board of Health here?
No, Mr. Chairman, this is a very short-term agreement. It expires at the end of the month. We've had the animal shelter under construction for the last several weeks, and that should be wrapping up in the next several weeks. So this is just an interim use of a Lakeville shelter, and once we get ours back online, we won't be needing this anymore.
Small fee involved.
Yeah.
for this.
Mr. Chair?
Yes?
Charlie, do you know how many animals we're talking?
You know, I don't know currently, how many we'd be sending over there. I
Because it
haven't heard.
It would just be dogs, it's not cats.
Right.
Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yes, you may.
The boiler, so that's expected to be fixed as well in the next couple weeks?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Good.
primarily they're working on the interior right now.
Awesome.
The boiler's already.
Any other comments or questions? Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next item on the agenda is approval of the liquor licenses for 2014. Now, Jackie, there are certain statutory requirements on the liquor licenses. Anybody who wants to have a liquor license or wants to reapply has to have it in by November 30th? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Has everybody on this list met that requirement?
Well, they're all here.
Say again?
I said they're all here signed.
They've all met the November 30th requirement?
They're all signed as of November 30th on the forms.
Okay. Comments and questions of the board?
Any of these members have any liens against their property?
No,
None.
none. Everyone's paid their taxes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I have a quick question. I was not on the board, but I remember in the spring, something about shooters supposed to be putting up a fence in order to get this license renewed?
Well, it wasn't exactly that, but they had made statements at their hearing that they would put up a fence. Unfortunately, the board didn't contingent the license on the fence being put up, and that's why it's taken so long. He's got more than half of it up as of
Oh,
today.
he has. Okay.
So I don't know if you saw Mr. Doerr's email, but he was thanking the selectmen for finally
Yes.
getting some action on that. So he still has about 10 panels to go, but he's put up the most important part, which is between himself and the abutting property,
Okay, good.
finally.
Thank you.
Okay. So nobody has any taxes owed or anything? They're all set to go?
Nobody owes taxes.
Okay, pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next item on the agenda is Class 1, 2, and 3 dealer licenses for 2014. These are for the renewals. On these particular licenses, Jackie, are there any statutory requirements? similar to the liquor licenses for, do they have to be dated in a certain time frame or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware,
Okay.
excuse me, not that I'm aware
I
of. It's a
just-
$15 fee if they want it, and I'm going to, I hadn't done it prior, so I'm gonna have to reach out and see who would like it, and that way I can let the clerk's office know, town clerk, and they'll prepare them. Not everybody wants one. Are you talking about the New Year's Eve?
No, we're on Class 1 dealer licenses.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we skipped over one.
Yeah, you
We'll have
You
to go
skip
back to.
one?
Yeah, we did.
Well, I see liquor licenses in my little magic box here, and then it goes right to,
D is New Year's Eve to serve alcohol beverages for licenses.
oh, you're looking on the paper, I'm looking on the computer. The computer's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, so-
Often
I'm sorry,
is.
we will go back to that in a moment, but with the, see, you get me in high-tech world, and look what happens. All right, so we'll stick with the Class 1, 2, and 3 licenses, because I started that, and then we'll go back to the Sunday thing in a
I
moment.
believe Allison is here to speak about the Class 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, Alice?
Good evening, Allison Ferrera, Town Clerk. We did have inspections conducted by our building commissioner on the Class 1, 2, and 3 dealer licenses, and everybody appears to be in compliance as far as the inspections go. I did ask that when you take your vote this evening, that you make the vote contingent upon any outstanding taxes owed to the town of Middleborough prior to January 1st, 2014, and all required documentation being filed with my office. And so there are still some that have not come into our office and paid and filled out that required documentation. And after the inspections, Bob Whalen informed me, upon conducting all inspections, Sports Limited, which is located at 539 Wareham Street, they had 40 vehicles on the premises, and they have a maximum amount allotted to them of 25. So I would respectfully request that maybe the board issue some type of correspondence to them, letting them know they're exceeding the amount they should have on their property by 15 vehicles at this time. And he has given them warning that they need to have those removed, but the authority lies with the board. But outside of that, everybody seems to be in compliance.
Okay. I think I was negligent in asking, were all the inspections completed
Yes.
for the liquor licenses also?
That would be
Yes,
Jack.
I have all the
Fire and
certificates.
building?
We have them.
Okay. Right. So, back to the Class 1, 2, and 3. Discussion from the board members? Yes, Mr. Crowe.
When is, the majority of these inspections, when are they done?
About this time of year.
Well, you know, it seems like if we wait till the end of the year to do all these inspections, we're always going to run into one person that's, you know, there's a snafu. So, you know, here we are about to issue a license to somebody that we know is not in compliance. You know, maybe if we, we do these inspections much earlier, and then we can say, look, you've got till now, the next 2 months to get this cleaned up, or we're not going to give you a license. Well, this is not the first time we've run into this. This bottom of the ninth inning, let's inspect everybody, and then we find what we don't like, and then we'll still issue them a license with some sort of gentleman's promise. Kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Well, actually, I think we're better off this year than we have ever been, in my experience. All of the inspections are done now. We, last year, ran into an issue where we had to come in and do a revocation on the Sunday before New Year's, and we don't have to do that this year, because everything is up to snuff. There's one guy that has too many vehicles in his place, but other than that, I would say that we're doing very well here. We have accurate information for all of our license holders, for their locations, for the amount of vehicles and so forth.
Yep, hours of operation have been updated.
Right.
We fixed that from last year. All the conditions are listed, so I think we're in much better
So
shape.
we're doing actually much better than we have in the past.
The inspections actually did happen earlier this year. They were supposed to be started in October, and I believe they were, between the liquor licenses and the car dealerships. So I don't know if they could be started any sooner than that, but that was sooner than has been in the past.
Do we have to vote these singularly, Class 1, 2, or 3, or can we vote them as a group?
I believe you
You could
voted
say-
them as a whole
You
before.
could do 1, 2, and 3 as presented, that's how I worded it, and that's.
Okay.
Just with the contingency, if you don't mind, that's all.
The two
Contingent.
contingencies are,
The contingent upon payment of any outstanding taxes owed to the town of Middleborough, and all required documentation being filed with the town clerk.
and that's, when do you need that done?
Before January 1st, please.
Couldn't we give you some leeway before that even?
That would be
I
wonderful.
mean, do you, really, do you?
I work on New Year's, the day before
Yeah, I
New
know,
Year's
but-
Eve, but yeah, I mean,
but
that
you
would be
don't
great.
want some person walking, so they should maybe by the
Most
middle of
everyone,
December?
yeah, most everyone has come in. We're
December
just waiting on a
15th.
handful of people, and we're going to be placing phone calls to them actually tomorrow, so,
So if we make this contingent on December 15th?
that would be fine. Sure.
Mr. Chair?
Pleasure, yes.
Allison, could you repeat how your recommendation for Sports Limited, because they are over their condition?
I just suggested that you send out correspondence letting them know that they've exceeded the maximum amount of vehicles that they were allowed to have based on the conditions that we have for that particular property. They were allotted 25 vehicles, so I'd given you a spreadsheet, and a maximum they're allowed is 25. At the present time of the inspection, they were at 40. And like I said, the building commissioner had requested that they remove at least 15 from the premises. So I would just let them know that, upon the inspection of the building commissioner, it was brought to your attention that they had 40 vehicles in the premises, and the conditions that were voted were for 25. And you want to make certain that those have been removed.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Frog?
I think we should do something about 15 vehicles over the limit is a lot, in my mind. Certainly notify them, but we should have a check back date or something,
And if I may just bring it to your attention, this isn't the first time that he's gone over the limit. It's typically
See, now
happened on
that-
an annual basis.
That now presents a whole new animal.
Doesn't it?
I don't like being ignored. So if we're going to do something, I think we should do something with the little teeth in it. Give them the last chance, get the 15 vehicles off the property by, say, the 1st, or we don't, or the 2nd, or whatever the day it is, because you said December 15th. December 15th is a Sunday, so I would say December 16th.
Okay.
Do you want to invite him to the next meeting?
We could do that. That's a great
Why
idea.
don't we invite him to the next meeting and ask him to explain why he's over his limit, and he's been over his limit on multiple occasions. Maybe he needs some direct face-to-face contact.
It's always good to meet the constituents.
So then maybe we should vote all of the Class 1, 2, and 3 dealer licenses,
With the exception of-
isolating the Sports Limited.
Yes.
And he's a Class 2, just so you know, that's a Class 2 for him only. that
The
he's
Class
doing.
2 for him?
Yep.
Okay. So let's discuss all the Class 1, 2, and 3s other than Sports Limited.
Motion to approve contingent upon all the documentation being in by December 16th and all the taxes and fees being paid up by December 16th.
Second.
In the town clerk's office.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Chair, would that be with the exception? Are you going to approve his tonight?
We're
the exception of-
accepting, we're going to hold him out
Right, okay, with the exception of it.
with the exception of
Sports
Sports Limited.
Fine.
Is that good,
Any other
Allison?
questions?
Excellent.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Please tell Mr. Sports Unlimited, send him a note to come on in next, on Monday, the 16th. We'd like to have a little discussion. Back to what I missed, which is vote to approve a 1-hour extension for New Year's Eve to serve alcohol beverages for those licensees who are interested in doing so. Do we have a list of those, or are they supposed to come in and let you all know that they're interested in doing so? Or is that every liquor license can do it?
If they'd like to do it, not the package stores, clearly, just the others. If they'd like to do it,
They can?
they can. It's a $15 fee. So I'll verify with them. I'll just reach out and call them. I should have asked ahead of time. We've done a blanket vote year after year for anyone who'd like it, but I'd like to know just ahead of time to make it easier for the town clerk's office who will actually give them the license.
Right.
So,
What is it, till 2? On New Year's Eve?
I think so. 1 or 2? Is it 2? Yeah.
I'm in bed by then.
Amen. Before that. Any other comments or questions? Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next item is to vote for the vote to approve the 2014 automatic amusement device licenses as presented. Which is probably in here somewhere. Okay.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next item is vote to approve the 2014 weekday entertainment licenses as presented. And again, these have all been, we have all of necessary information, paperwork, documentation, taxes, tips, gratuities, everything, right?
I have everything.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. A vote to approve the 2014 Sunday entertainment licenses as presented. Comments, questions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. In years past, we have had this really bizarrely worded motion about New Year's Eve not falling on a Saturday or a Thursday and accepted for the, it was the most, I could never remember it because it was the most bizarre request. And I
That
think
was
it
the
came from
Sunday liquor license.
ABCC, that it was
It was
pertained
the
to Sunday.
Sunday liquor license,
Was
because
it?
New Year's Eve was on Saturday. Is that what you're talking about?
And it was a very oddly worded license. Not pertinent now? We don't have to worry about that this year?
Not this year?
Good. You won't have to read that. Okay, next item on the agenda is a review to change the order for River's Edge slash Edgewater Drive roadway improvement project in the amount of $13,260. That's a change order?
It's a change order, Mr. Chairman, and what happened here was that they thought they were only going to have to do minor repairs to the drainage structures out there at River's Edge and Edgewater Drive, and it turned out they actually had to do much more extensive repairs because the concrete blocks within the catch basins were deteriorating so badly they had to actually go in and rebuild them. So that is what amounted to the change order amount. This, as you know, is the project that is being paid for by the residents through a betterment, which we're financing. We're borrowing. They're paying us back over time through their tax bills. So that project's now complete, and probably, I think, next week, we're going to have you sign the betterment order for that road as well.
Is everybody down there aware of this $13,000?
Yeah, and the budget for this is, the overall cost is still going to be within the total amount that was approved. So this does not exceed because we gave them a not to exceed maximum, and certain of the projects came in, or certain of the elements came in lower. So although this one came in a little higher, we're still within the total.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Through you to Charlie. So we're plowing the street.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, in fact, we even plowed it last year. You know, as soon as we accepted it, it's ours, and we've been maintaining it.
Beautiful.
Comments or questions? Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next item on the agenda is a vote to pay the town of Plimpton property tax bill for parcel 23-3-19, 0 Prospect Street, in the amount of $931.65. This is a yearly
We pay it every year.
item that comes
Yep.
up, a piece of property we own. Comments or questions? Pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. We have a motion, next item on the agenda is a motion to approve a new Sunday entertainment license for the Middleborough Lodge, 24 High Street, Middleborough Elks Lodge. Is this a hearing type thing? No? Okay. This will be the Middleborough Lodge 1274 BPOE of USA Building Association for Sunday entertainment, 24 High Street, Middleborough. Comments or questions? Pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
One abstention.
One abstention. We have an item, a vote to designate the town clerk as our burial agent and to sign confirmation letter for said same. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening. So effective January 1st, the Massachusetts Registry of Vital Records and Statistics will transition the current paper death record certificate process to an electronic death registration system to streamline the method for all partners. Burial agents will be reviewing death records and issuing disposition permits on the electronic death registration system. As part of the preparation for the 2014 implementation, users will be required to sign several agreements to use the new death module. Each organization must sign a service agreement, identify an access administrator, and identify all users who will require access to the system. In addition, if the town clerk is the burial agent for the municipality, the Massachusetts Registry of Vital Records and Statistics has requested a letter from the Board of Health authorizing the town clerk as the burial agent. So I have come before you just to request a confirmation letter indicating that I am in fact the burial agent for the town of Middleborough. And so I can send that, and I actually have given correspondence to Jackie, which I believe she would have for you if you would be willing to sign this evening.
So we are representing, we are acting as our,
Board of Health.
as the Board of Health for this particular motion.
Yes.
Any comments or questions? Pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Going buried.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is to vote to adopt and sign an order of taking for the Plan R.E. Bertrelli Brothers, North Middleborough.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is the property we've been negotiating 4.28 acres with the Bertrelli Brothers to acquire for a well site that we are proceeding to develop, and we're now ready to close on that property. And so part of that is to, we effectively take the property in order to clear any title issues that might have developed over the years. It's just a method the town's used to make sure that we're not acquiring something that has any encumbrances. Even though we're buying it and it's a sale that was agreed upon and negotiated between us and the Bertrellis, even though you do that, you also, in these transactions, take the property in order to clear title.
Okay. Tell them I'm busy. Does this open us up to anything?
No, this is designed to keep us from walking into anything that, we don't see right now, but could turn up over time. By taking it, it eliminates any cloud over the title.
Okay. Questions of the board? Any comments? Pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve?
Second.
A motion and a second. I see that town manager has approved all this.
This was drafted by town council, and he's been involved in this, every step of the way.
Okay, all right. So we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, hearing, meetings, and licenses. Hearing will be held in the meeting by the Board of Selectmen on Monday, December 9, 2013, 7:30 p.m. in the Selectmen's Meeting Room at the Town Hall located at 10 Nixon Ave, Middleborough, for the purpose of discussing the application made by Pushotadamas, Patel, and Victoria Patel for the transfer of wine and malt beverage package goods store license from Capeway Convenience Store, Inc. to Perba, Inc., DBA Capeway Convenience Store, for a change of manager on the property located at 578 Wareham Street, Middleborough, Mass., Assessors Map 101, Lot 1694, Middleborough, Mass. Anyone desiring to be heard on this matter should appear at the time and place designated. Declare the meeting open, the hearing open. So we have a application for a retail alcohol beverage license application. Jackie, this fills out all the necessary requirements?
Yes.
Okay, Corey, background's come back okay? Okay. Anybody wish to speak on this?
Yes, please. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Phil Markella. I am the attorney for the Patel family. They are the principals of Puraba, Inc., and they are here tonight. Prashad Das Patel and his daughter-in-law, Victoria. Victoria is the proposed...
I apologize for totally destroying your name.
You can just call him Das. They are very experienced grocery store and wine and malt outlet operators. They currently own, under another entity, Main Street Market in Delhi and Hingham, Mass. They purchased that, and they've operated it since 2008 with Victoria as the manager. They own Hall's Corner Store in Duxbury. They've owned that since 2000, and they just recently obtained a wine and malt license there as well. That was obtained in September of this year, October of this year. And they're looking forward to carrying on their business here in Middleborough and purchasing from the Colettis, Capeway Convenience. As I said, they are experienced. Victoria is tip certified, and they have no plans at the moment of changing anything drastically within the store. They're going to plan to continue to serve the town as the town has been served by Capeway Convenience.
Jackie, were we required to have green cards or anything like that on this particular type of transaction? No, there's no notifications from abutters or anything?
I have everything.
You have everything? You got all the paperwork and everything? All documentation meets the statutory requirements?
I have it all.
That's good. Any comments or questions of the board? I know there's something in there. Go ahead.
No. I just want to make sure that we have accurate contact information. I know when we had health violations a while ago, there were problems contacting people. That's all. It seems to be in here, but
Yes.
you're satisfied with all that? You've contacted back and forth, and the numbers are working and everything?
Yes.
Yes. You remember we had an issue.
I'm not sure it was this
Didn't
one.
Didn't pertain to
It was in
them,
the
not to
Shell
them.
station
No,
or
it was
something?
another, the health department had a problem contacting someone.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
I have, well, mostly
Yep.
contacting the attorney.
Just making sure the information's all accurate, yep.
She has my
Before-
email.
Okay, awesome, we'll call you.
All right. I
Or
hope not.
Well,
Or
hopefully not.
That's all.
Start off more positive, then we'll call you.
Yes, yes. Just to say hi, nothing else.
Is that
I'm
it?
always happy to say hi.
Good enough? You got it? Okay, any
I'm
other
good.
comments or questions? Pleasure of the board? Oh, hold it. Any other comments from the audience? No? Close the meeting, close the hearing. Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
You're in. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Bridgewater Rainham Sand and Stone, 1453 Plymouth Street, Bridgewater, Mass., requesting a one-year extension on the Chopquay Cranberry Bog project located at 258 Tispecon Street. What is, let's see. So, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening. I brought the original plan of the project. I also brought some pictures to show the progress on the project. It was a extensive project, about 196,000 cubic yards of material to come off, and we did it in phases through. We've completed each section. We're on the last section of the bog. If you'd like me to put the plan up so you can
Could
see
put
it.
the plan up, because I'm having trouble actually
Picturing.
picturing exactly where this location
Okay.
is.
I got two sets of plans. These are the pictures. Which I can explain the pictures. I went down, took some photographs of the project. It was in the first section that we started the project was this area here.
Would you point out the road layout there, because I just want to...
This is, this would be Rocky Meadow Street,
Okay,
and this would be Tispecon Street.
okay,
But
heading down,
this would be-
heading
this
down
is-
would be heading towards
Yes, this would be headed back towards
Purchase?
Purchase Street.
Okay, all right.
The bad corner on Tispecon. Just before you have our entrance here.
Okay.
We started the project in a few phases. The material as a whole was the biggest problem with this piece of property. When the purchase of the property went into effect, the owner wants to have this remain a cranberry bog. It's kind of it's an old standing cranberry bog. We were able to accommodate him. We have expanded this bog. Shape factor was a big issue with them. We expanded this bog. We refurbished these two bogs. We added a water hole. And we have subgraded almost probably 90% of this bog here. We hit some silty clay material, which is a tough product to move in this economy. You know, sand, gravel, we move it every day. The owner is trying to finish this small section. We had, I believe, 96,000 yards to come off this. When the engineers went out to get us, we have about 20,000 yards left to finish this. We have a tailwater recovery pond that we're putting in, but most of the sand from the tailwater recovery pond will be used on this bog. So, worst case scenario, we have a few months left of hauling. The tailwater recovery pond may, if we run into some of that silty material, that may have to come off site. We're hoping that most of it, the soil logs were all sand, so most of it will stay on it. The only thing that may have to be removed is if we get to before the elevation, we hit some silty material which would have to be removed off-site. That's why we're asking for a year. The work isn't a year's worth of work left, probably 6 months, and we'll be done. And then that finishes the entire farm project the way it stands. If you look at some of the photographs, you'll see that he has spent a tremendous amount of money. He did all hybrid.
I need you on a microphone for this. You can stand right there by that mic if you want, or we're back here.
The pictures of just the dirt, I was trying to show you that we have it to a subgrade. You can see that all the banks are stabilized. We stabilized the banks as we went through. It's just the last bit of this material was home sensitive. We had a hard time finding homes for the material, but as you can see the rest of the project, I don't know if you got a chance to get out there, but it's really I think a pretty fabulous project.
A question, because we talk thousands of yards and all that.
Yeah.
How many truckloads, roughly?
To finish the project?
Yeah.
Well, we break it down 26 yards in a truck. So another 20,000, 5,000 plus loads.
You're going to make me do math.
I was hoping you were going to step up.
That's good. Okay. All right, what's your truck route? What is your route of getting your trucks out of town? Which route do you, you're required to take from your permit?
From the permit, we're required to we come down Route 44 or across Route 44. I think I call it 105, but I forget the technical name by the Church of the Green. We take a left and we take a Plymouth, a right onto Rocky Meadow, into the...
And then a right on to Tispecuen, or go
No, we
right
don't even go to
in? Go right
Tispecuen.
in?
We just come right in to, off of Rocky Meadow, and then we exit the same way.
And your exit route is
The
just the
same.
reverse,
Yep, yep,
straight out?
reversed.
Okay. All right. Questions of the board?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
In the original permit, it said the expected finish date was 12/31/2012. And the reason it's not finished is because you ran into different materials? What?
I don't remember seeing 2012 on.
I see it
We
here
asked for a 3-year permit. Maybe you're looking at one of the phases.
I'll find it.
Jackie, do you have when the original permit was supposed to expire, or do you have the original permit?
Yes, which you should have. He was issued that permit in 2010, so
Yes.
it expires
October
in
2010.
2013.
Yeah.
It's a 3-year permit. He's allowed to ask for a 1-year extension.
Okay. So it was October
Which
2013?
he's doing now.
And,
Yes.
okay. Does that answer that, John?
Well, no, I'm just curious why it's taken another, if that was the expected finish date.
They might have, if it wasn't, maybe when they were talking a phase of the project, because there's no way we would have done 196,000 in 2 years.
I've yet to see a project, an earth removal project finish in the first time, the first hit.
No, I can imagine.
Any other comments or questions of the board? We don't, this isn't an official hearing, right? We don't have to do the hearing.
There might be somebody else who wants to speak on it.
Anybody wants to speak on this? Yes, come right up.
Good evening. My name is Henry Serignano. I live at 675 Plymouth Street, which is the former Carol Benson Farm, if you're familiar with that. I'm here tonight to speak in opposition to the 1-year extension on this permit as it's written. I'm asking not necessarily that you not approve it, but you modify it or revise it as the permit allows if you check the permit. For 3+ years now, we, the homeowners on Plymouth Street, have been subjected to the constant rumble of tractor trailers coming and going from the site. This is a quality of life issue and also a public safety issue. Over the 3+ years, there's been numerous violations of the permit, including hours of operation, trucks not having permit stickers, many trips exceeding his limit, at one time up to 175 a day when the permit allows for no more than 50 a day. All right? And then he's been running trucks in and out. His permit expired in October, and he continued running trucks in and out of there, and raced straight through for over a month after that. I'm asking you if you feel it's necessary to extend his permit for a year, that you change his route and cut the maximum amount of trips, giving us, the homeowners who live on the current route that he's been traveling for 3+ years, you know, a break from the constant pounding that we've been taking. Right now, as you said, he comes out Rocky Meadow, comes down Plymouth Street, and then cuts across over 44. Even at 50 trips maximum per day, that's 100 trips a day that he's doing, all right? When you have a home on that street, on Plymouth Street, you know, and they're running by every 5 or 6 minutes with loads of gravel or whatever he's carrying out of there, rattling your windows, it gets annoying after a while, and this has been going on for 3+ years. And the point, like I said, is there's been many times he's far exceeded. The permit says average of 25 trips a day. I've never seen that in the 3 years he's been hauling out of it. It's more like 50, 60 trips at minimum. And like I said, at one time, which in November of 2011, I spoke to Jackie about it. That's when I noticed it. I came to the office about it. And then I went and sat there and wrote down times. The trucking companies, I gave you people copies of this, correct? Which I think you passed on to the selectmen. Of, you know, they were averaging 22 trips an hour out of there, right, which far exceeded the permit that he had to run. Since then, since he's been spoken to, he has cut back. And there was also an issue with the hours. He was not supposed to start till 7:30, and he was starting way earlier than that. But I have to be honest, since the last 2 years, he did cut back. He did go back to his regular hours. And he's probably averaging 50, 60, 70 trips a day out of there. There's never 25 trips a day. And we've been dealing with this for 3 years. I also, at that time, went around and had a petition that we, the residents of Middleborough, Mass., in the interest of public safety and the quality of our lives, hereby request the Board of Selectmen of Middleborough to hold him in compliance with conditions for earth removal permit, and to notify in a reasonable manner residents and any further changes thereof. Now, a couple nights after work and one Saturday afternoon after work, I went and hit houses up and down Plymouth Street, and except for 2 houses, anybody that was home said they were definitely against it. I mean, I even spoke to a mother that won't allow her children to stand there for the school bus because she's deathly afraid because of these trucks. We've been dealing with this for over 3 years now. All I'm asking is, I'm not trying to, he has a right to make a living. What I'm saying is, can we change the route and cut the trips so that we don't have to deal with this? And to make sure he stays in compliance, which he has a habit of not doing, although he's been better the last couple of years, to be honest. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Okay, what can we do about the route?
Our original route, we could come out of the backside of the pit. I've been hauling up on that street since 1999. I owned a piece of property across the street. We had earth removal since '99. The only time that we've ever had a complaint was this past year, which we had changed on this permit, our previous permit. We would come out, we'd come down Rocky Meadow. But when we exited, we would exit Tispequin Street. Because of the bad corner, we would go straight across. It's the discretion of the board. The corner is obviously with a loaded tractor trailer going across. They were worried about it, but if the board, we could also come out, take a right, and come around the corner, so that we'd be going not across the traffic, but with the traffic. Take a left-hand turn go out that way. That way we would not come down Plymouth Street. We'd only go down Plymouth Street once. I mean, as it is right now, we have 5 trucks that haul for us. That's all I've ever owned is 5 trucks. We haul 5 trucks, and the most they can do a day is between 5 and 6 loads. So we're allowed 45. We're under it by about 10, 15 on a regular basis. The math doesn't add up what I was just accused of, but I can go this way.
All right, now, when you say going that way, you still got to go to Plymouth Street
Nope.
either way.
No, I would cut across, take a right on Plymouth, so I would be down from there.
From there.
And
go
I'd
over
go
to
under
Carmel?
Carmel, go under.
Carmel Street?
Yeah, and go out that way. In which I have no, that was the way our original route was done. But when we came on this permit, I think it was Mr. Baggis at the time requested that we not cut across that road, with the trucks coming across. He didn't really feel comfortable with us taking that turn, but if the board, wishes, it's doable, so that they would only see us. None of our truck route would see us twice in this side of 44, and on the other side, it's kind of a wide open. We counted the houses. We have roughly 310 houses that we pass with our trucks. Since 1999, since I started the business, I've never had one truck ever cited or stopped for speeding, uncovered load. We police it ourselves. I think the police or anyone in town knows that even the neighbors have commented on how courteous my drivers are. They do drive below the speed limit. Safety is our top priority. I think we've proven that through the years. So to relieve the pressure on those people, I'd be willing to take a longer truck route just to help out.
So we're talking 90,000 roughly yards.
That was on that phase.
25 yards, that's what you're saying, right? 90,000?
No, that's what the whole phase was. We estimate about 20,000 left.
20,000? Oh. Wow. So that brings it down to about 1,000 loads, roughly.
Yes, yeah, yep. We're almost there. And then it's a beautiful farm. The piece of property, I have the original plan. There was 40 houses designated for that piece of property before Mr. Haynes purchased it. We've worked very hard with him. He spent a tremendous amount of money upgrading this old farm, kind of a historical farm, I believe, for Middleborough. So with that being said, the portion, and then we'll be off of Plymouth Street and out of the neighborhood forever. Well, I shouldn't say forever.
Till the next one.
Well, on this piece of property, there is,
Right.
it is, the piece of property is a very tough piece of property. He had a number that he was trying to hit on this piece of property for acreage to make it feasible. We've succeeded to do that. The material, like I said, was a tough material, but Mr. Haynes gave us a lot of support to make that cranberry bog happen. So we do sympathize with people. I mean, I know everybody doesn't like trucks, but this is the alternative to what Middleborough is founded on.
Right.
Can I comment on something you said?
Yeah.
First of all, as far as liking trucks, well, my father was a truck driver his whole life. He worked for Boston Sand and Gravel, and he will, so I have nothing against truck drivers. It's just the quality of life issues and sticking to a permit. He may only own 5 trucks, but he subcontracts out. That particular day, when I wrote down the times, there was 19 different trucking companies hauling in and out of that pit right there, all right? And he's been doing it again lately. He's running his trucks, and he's running 2, 3, 4 other trucks out of there that belong to other companies too. So these numbers are accurate. They're not wrong at the time. He's backed off a little bit since then, but these were accurate.
If he's doing 175 loads a day,
That's
he's
350
done it in about a
trips.
week. You know, I mean, 10 days he'll be done. If he did 175 loads an
This
hour.
particular
This is
days
only
he
got-
did. I'm not exaggerating. The times and the
No.
dates and everything are written down.
Charlie, can we have Mr. Peck take a look at those?
Yeah, I would suggest before you
Chief?
alter any truck routes that we have police and DPW take a look at it and just be sure that they're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a,
And we can come back and report at your next meeting and, maybe we just put babies under advisement for a week and, can we do that?
We can.
Can we issue the permit and then talk about a modified traffic route?
You could do that too.
He could, like you said, come out, instead of taking a left from Rocky Meadow down Plymouth Street, take a right, and then take a left on Carmel.
Right.
And take a left on Plimpton. In roughly the same amount of time to get to 105 as coming down Plymouth Street, getting stuck at the lights and crossing Route 44. And we just give everybody on Plymouth Street a break. Right. Because like I say, it's been 3+ years. And I'm not alone on this. It's just, Jackie notified me about a week ago, but my father's been in the hospital with pneumonia, and I haven't had a chance to talk to the neighborhood, but every time I have in the past, everyone feels the same way.
nobody likes having to try. I mean,
Especially constantly.
we've all lived through it,
That's right.
so.
To be quite honest with you, I'm not going to vote on changing a truck route unless I can see it or unless I get a recommendation from someone who knows a lot more about this than I do.
Right. Well, I'm
Because
asking.
I just, you guys are saying roads and stuff, and I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Might as well be speaking in Chinese.
Right, well, I'm not saying to do it tonight, but not issue this.
We'll look at changing that route.
Right.
Okay?
Mr. Chair.
We'll get DPW, we'll get the police involved. Yes, sir.
I think we should take this under advisement for a week, even issuing the permit, so we can hear back from Chris Peck before we do anything. Obviously, there are two different stories here, and we need to get some more information.
All right.
I don't want
He needs a permit, though. Just saying, Chair, I mean, can we do that?
Can we hold off?
Yeah, I mean, he's
No,
still.
we can hold off for a week, sure. We could still, I mean, it's not, we're not saying we're not going to issue the permit. We're just
Right.
going to get a revision, an estimate of, is that safe? Because those are,
Yeah.
there's problems everywhere you go. No matter what road you're on, there's going to be problems. Can we hold that off for a week? You've got this look on your face like,
Mr. Chair,
yes?
if we're going to, I think we should, my opinion is we should vote on whether or not to renew the permit, and we can talk about the route next week. If
So
the
then-
route's the issue, then why don't we can address the issue. But I don't think we should not renew the permit and not give the guy an opportunity to work for a week.
Well, it's been expired since October 23rd.
And then we should probably do it
Definitely.
immediately then. I don't want to stop the guy from working for a week just because we're going to discuss the traffic route.
How about as far as the amount of trips?
The amount of trips, it's my understanding that the permit as it stands is 45 trips a day,
That's correct.
and we'll monitor that.
Maximum
Yeah,
50.
Maximum 50.
25.
All right,
Yeah.
so we can certainly have somebody monitor that. But I would make a motion that we vote to approve the 1-year extension for this earth removal permit.
Second.
But conditional on, also
And
on
we-
getting a traffic study.
And I would amend it to, that we talk about a possible different traffic, transportation route, whatever you want to call it.
Second that?
Second that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions?
Well, I think that Alan makes a very good point. I mean, even if you do decide that a better route, I mean, say a better route, a different route is okay with Mr. Peck, I mean, it still comes back to the amount of trips. You're sort of just moving a problem somewhere else, and then we're going to be hearing from those residents, so I think it's twofold. We really need to buckle down on the amount of trips, according to permit, and then get recommendations from our DPW director that it's a safe route for those types of trucks. Absolutely.
All right, so 50 is the magic number for trips?
It's, yeah.
That's what's in there. You don't have to change
yeah,
it.
we don't
It's already
have-
there.
Okay. Stick to that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Comments or questions? We have a motion. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. So,
Okay,
we're going to look at stuff.
all right.
All right?
We appreciate your comments as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Town managers report.
Mr. Chairman, you have the confirmation from the Mass Gaming Commission on the town of Middleborough being named a surrounding community to the Raynham Park Slots Parlor. We've been in discussion with them over a surrounding community agreement. They're anxious to get it done. We don't have it done yet. I hope we'll have one ready to present to you on Monday, which would involve some mitigation payment to the town, but they're in the process of doing about 4 of these at the same time, so it's, you know.
And we don't want to push the state too hard because, you know, they'll pass out from all that work, so.
No, this is the developer. Sorry. So I've informed the developer that we probably have only one more meeting this year, so if he really wants to get it done, he should get it done, so.
Okay.
Now, they have 5 signed, they're waiting on 4.
Correct.
All right.
And that's all I have tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Correspondence. Go.
Number 5, I gotta scroll down, hold on. I was just wondering, because this came for the notification after the Southeastern Massachusetts, this was for the combis. Did we participate in that?
The what?
Combi, COMM, where you can join a statewide organization there to get better prices. I don't know whether we do.
We're under the, I think we buy through Plymouth County right now.
That's what I'm asking.
We buy through, oh, it's interesting, my correspondence didn't update. Last week's correspondence for some reason.
I couldn't get my correspondence on my...
I have 11/4. What date do you guys have?
I got it here. I couldn't get it at home.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that, I believe that's the, there was a, there was a forum here in Middleborough
Right.
last week. Caroline and a number of the department heads attended.
That's what I wanted to know, yeah.
Apparently, it's not ready to go live yet. It's, you know, it's going to replace ComPass, which is what they currently have. And yeah, what it is it's an electronic version of the state, basically the state bid list, and it allows you to access it. And yeah, we use that along with the county, you know, some of the county procurement, some of the regional agency procurement. You know, it's just another resource that we have available to us. That sometimes we use it, sometimes there's other better
awesome
out there.
I just wanted to confirm that
Yeah.
we had looked into it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we had, I think we had both chiefs and several other department heads along with Caroline attending, some school department employees as well.
Okay.
So they are aware of it, and like I said, it's not ready to roll out yet. They're going to be, you know, they're still working on it.
All right, great, thank you. That's all I have.
Well, you know, I love the high-tech devices we have, but when I minimize my screen, I go back to a correspondence of 11:4.
Yeah, see, mine's
When I
11:4
maximize
too.
my screen, it goes to 12:9.
Mine's jumping around too.
So,
I think it's the ghost.
Can we, yeah, maybe it is. He's trying to make us look bad.
See, when I
We don't need your
maximize
help,
mine,
pal.
it doesn't help. I still get 11:4.
I'm good by myself here. It kind of makes it a little difficult to track everything here, but.
It does.
Mr. Frawley, do you have anything?
Just, like I said, I didn't have an opportunity to see this until just now. But, and now I can't find the thing. But, I'll wing it. The extension of the public comment period, number 9, from Epsilon Associates. Just once again, I want to reiterate that if you have, this isn't pro or for the casino project in Taunton. What it is it's issues with the project. And when they say that it's an environmental impact, they mean is the whole human environment. They mean from socioeconomic to traffic to development to the air quality to water, the water draw out of the Assawamsa Pond complex. there's a number of issues, and there is absolutely no mitigation for one surrounding community. Just to tell you briefly, give you an example, they briefly touch upon the impact this project will have upon schools in Taunton, and then they say the rest of the impact will be spread throughout the state and will not require mitigation. It's just going to magically disappear. Do not look behind the curtain.
There you go.
So it's, I mean, there's just things like, and unless somebody takes issue with that statement is accepted as fact, and then the project moves forward under the watchful eye of our state government, and we won't actually have an opportunity to get mitigation for the impact on, say, that issue, because by the time the project's forward, then we won't have the ability to go back and they won't have to listen to us. So, I mean, it's just such a, I have a couple of terms that I shouldn't say over the airways for it, but it's a convoluted way to do it. So we got to, now's the time to make your issues known. So I would strongly encourage anyone in the community, ours or any surrounding community, to make your issues, make the BIA aware of your issues. That's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Knowlton?
Item 12 is an update from Rep. Oral's office. I just wanted to thank her staff and the rep herself for being very diligent about this. When people speak in front of our board, the rep's office is listening and people are being contacted, and I just wanted to thank the rep's office for the work they're doing. And that would be it.
Okay. Mr. Quell?
Yeah, you know, I'll certainly back that last statement up. Thank you to our State Representative Oral for tuning into this issue here with NSTAR. I don't pretend to be an expert on a lot of this stuff. You know, if a power company says they need a certain amount of distance to protect their lines, who am I to say they're wrong? But you know, the burning point for me, as I brought up last time, is we had citizens to come before us to say that their property was removed and they were not compensated for it. And I know that, you know, we're talking about legislation that may or may not be passed, but that's something that I don't want to let slip away. Did they in fact come on beyond the buffer, cut their trees down and haul it away? It's a product that can be priced. It's their product, excuse me, it's their property. Again, we can all price up cord of wood, not that hard, we all buy it. So if these people say that they got stumps that go beyond the easement, then, you know, I'm not letting that get away. They need to come back there and cut these people a check. That has nothing to do with legislation. That's not, you know, that may or may not be on the books in the near future. I want to see that taken care of right away. So, you know, I'm not exactly how we're going to go about that, but I would have loved to see somebody from NSTAR just come in here, first explain why it is that common courtesy doesn't seem to apply, but second of all, did you in fact take people's property without even so much as asking them if you could? And did they? Because we got residents who say they did, and they've got the proof of it. Again, I don't see what state legislation has to do with that. We have a taxi company that is no longer able to operate in our town. Do we know or have any evidence that it is? And
Is or is not?
Is not. I mean, again, we do these things. We need to at least follow up on it. You know, the last time that individual was in here, she said some pretty concerning things to me, like she wasn't sure where her insurance stood. Okay, so you have a passenger in the back of a car, hits black ice, slams into a tree. What kind of protection does that poor passenger have to bodily harm? You know, those are kind of important things. That's why you have to have insurance. So I want to know whether or not that taxi's still, you know, roaming around town picking people up, knowing that their current customer base was complaining about unfair fares, unsanitary conditions, and now we don't even know if things carrying insurance. I'd like some follow-up on that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. The chair doesn't have anything. So we have no No other business tonight, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those that want to stay? Okay,
Excuse me.
thank you all. Have a good night.
Have a lot of licenses to sign.
We have a lot to sign.
It's a pile.